Good morning, it's Yvonne here to do your bonus reading. You know, I have crystals on my table where I do my reading. I have like a little bowl of crystals like that, and very often people will say they see me clutching I've got a piece of this sort of crystal everywhere I work, because for me the quartz crystal is the best crystal for me. Some people say it's too strong for them, but I love my clear quartz, so I carry it everywhere. And some days I get up and I come in and sit with my crystal bowl, and spirit will draw me to a particular crystal. And I know that I'm meant to be using that crystal there for the day. But this morning it was really funny, because I was drawn right to the bottom of the bowl, and I have a piece of what they call fool's gold here, which is pyrite. And I was so drawn to this little tiny piece of pyrite this morning. So pyrite is a stone which sort of fends off negativity. It sort of helps you keep your brain sharp, and a tiny little piece like that. And somebody said once, and I think it was Julie who said back to me, so thank you, Julie, if you're watching this, what size is best? And Julie said, when you buy a crystal, you're always connected to the largest sources of that crystal, even if it's only small. So a crystal this size is just as effective as a crystal this size, or a bigger crystal. So don't ever think because you're picking up a small crystal that it's not powerful. So that's what I was drawn to this morning, is the pyrite. So when you're drawn to something, you know that you are being sort of instructed, guided by your angels or your spirit guides, because you might be in particular need for this. So I feel a really good way of doing that is to have a bowl of crystals with a lot of different things in. I have everything in here. And I keep that bowl there. I do have a lot of rose quartz. I think I've shown you all my rose quartz, but I have a lot of big crystals as well. But I always keep that little bowl there, and if spirit draws me to that bowl, it will always be the crystal I need for the day. So I thought that was beautiful, so I thought I'd share that with you this morning. All right, we are going to use the Albino Rider-Waite Tarot for your bonus read. And let's get into this. All right. Oh, nice split, spirit. Okay, so we've got the Death card coming through. Now, the Death card is a card that talks about change. It is the card of Scorpio. Seem to be having a bit of a water sign day today. It represents the sign of Scorpio. And I do understand the deeper reasons for that, the same as the Cancer card. There is much deeper reasons for why they represent those particular planets, and it is about the houses and how deep the meanings are behind that. Really interesting though. But just to cut it short and just talk about the Death card, talks about transformation. Now, sometimes this can be transformation that you are deliberately putting into motion. For example, you may be choosing to change something about yourself, something about where you're going, and it can be a deliberate change. Sometimes this is the universe sort of putting a change on you that you don't expect. So it could be a change around, like you walk to work one day and your job, they offer you a redundancy, or you could be... you could receive a letter to say that they are no longer renting your house out, that the owner wants to sell it. So that all is enforced change from the universe, and we're not always sort of in control of that. But sometimes we choose to make changes ourselves. I feel like here, and I'm going to check the card out, yeah, I feel like here, it's exactly what I was going to say. I feel like that you are enforcing some sort of change here. You've seen that what you're doing or what you are going to, like, trying to achieve is not working, whatever it is, and there is a walking away from this particular situation. So it looks to me like whatever you've been doing in a certain area of your life is not serving you, and you're choosing to walk away from it. So it may be a potential romance that's not working out. It may be a relationship that you've realized isn't going anywhere. It could be that you're walking away from a job. Whatever you are moving away from here, you have chosen to do this because whatever you are doing is just not working for you. I feel like here, it's like you may have received information, or you may be downloading something from the universe which is making you question the direction you're going in here. But then I see the Three of Swords, and I figure some of you may be walking away from a third party situation. You may have been waiting a very long time. You may have decided it's not worth putting your time and energy into anymore, and you may be choosing to move on. The other thing you could be doing, quite honestly, here is walking away from personal pain or heartbreak. Maybe you're doing a lot of internal work here to try and understand why you've been maybe attached to a situation or stuck in a situation. But whatever this is, you are moving away from it yourself. You have made a decision here to put something down and move forward. Now, I just said then, I feel like you may have been trying to investigate or try to see what's going on, because I was really drawn to the moon. And the moon card for me says that something has either been shown to you, or you've realized something. It could be that you've had, I don't know, gone through the full moon and had some sort of epiphany moment. But whatever it is, I can see with the Page of Swords, you've been either investigating or following it up. So some of you may have walked away from a situation because you found there was someone else involved in the situation. You may have discovered that your person had somebody else, or but something here with this Page of Swords, you may have been sort of stalking the person because you weren't trusting them, but it definitely looks to me like somebody else was involved in this situation, and you are moving on and you're self-nurturing. So this is really good. And I often hear people say, I've gone into my healing phase. And I was saying the other day that I always talk about it being healing too, and that you need to heal after a relationship. And I do have people say I don't need to heal, and I think that's fine. If you're choosing to move on to the next person with any baggage and you feel that you've dealt with that baggage or whatever, then that is your choice. But what happens for many of us, if we move on too quickly, we end up pulling in a very similar situation, or somebody who's vibrating in that lower energy where we've just come from. And I feel this guy the other day on a video I was watching said it's about finding your way back to yourself when you've walked away from a relationship. And I guess if you've been with somebody for a very long time, you may have become part of that relationship rather than staying true to who you are. And that is what the Queen of Pentacles is telling me. So you're making some choice to walk away from a situation, do the healing, and find your way back to yourself again. And sometimes we find ourselves in really low positions after we've walked away from something, because we may feel sad about that. It may be difficult for us to understand why we've walked away, especially if we've walked away from somebody we love very deeply. It's very difficult, but you have to do it because you have to preserve yourself. You have to do what's right for you. It can become very draining, very sad, and change ultimately is the only way you're going to move forward. So look at this. You're out there looking at the future now. What I see is someone who's realized now, perhaps with the world in their hand like this, that maybe they weren't seeing themselves this way before. Maybe they'd got to a point where they were so absorbed in something they'd forgotten who they were. And then I see this and I see, no, you're definitely seeing yourself for what you are, because you're looking out now thinking, these are all the things I can have now. I'm not limited anymore. Oh, we have the Strength card coming through too. So you have healed something within your shadow side. So it may be that you found yourself in a situation where you were sort of attached to something, or feeling like you couldn't get away from something. Now, for sometimes we can get like that with a relationship, where we become really invested and we forget who we are. We lose our independence. And it is because we're taught that when you're in a relationship, it's all about the other person. And of course, we're starting to understand with more knowledge, opening up to the world, a lot of more people getting into spirituality, and we're really starting to understand that actually a relationship is something that two people come together do together, and it's actually like a third entity. So there's you, your person, and then there's the relationship. So you both invest in the relationship together, but you still are two individual people. You know, and you still do what you need to do, and that's how you keep a relationship healthy. But sadly, we have become very dependent and most times codependent on people, which means we put the other person's needs above our own, and that isn't healthy. So I see with the Strength card, you may have done a lot of work around, you've got your power back here with the Emperor card and your passion. This is really beautiful energy. So you've got your power back here because you're stepping into Emperor energy. And I feel like here you may have let go of some sort of energy here within a situation that you may have seen that you didn't require within the situation. You found your passion. But with the Strength card, I know that you've done the healing that is required here, because with the Two of Wands, you are looking out towards the future now. You may have also turned your back on a divine masculine here, or what you see as your divine masculine, because I do see you moving away from that, and you definitely have your back turned to this person. And interestingly enough, look at their cloaks. So I feel that you have made some sort of decision here to make this change by looking into your shadow side and seeing those parts of you that haven't been right for you. So you've gone through some healing, and it could be directly as a result of the Emperor. So we often know, like with a twin flame situation, that, you know, the other person reflects or mirrors back to you what you need to heal. And in doing that, you reflect back to them. So both of you go through some sort of healing process, but ultimately you work on your shadow. You work on the things in your shadow side that have led you to this moment. And one of them may be codependency. And there's a big difference between dependency and codependency. Dependency in itself isn't the most unhealthy thing, but you can work on that in a relationship. What you really want in a relationship is interdependency, where you can depend on your partner at times, but you also are self-sufficient. Dependency means you are always dependent on your partner, not just for money or for being looked after, but more for the emotional support. So you often see this person as your emotional support, or, you know, support, as I said, in a material sense. Codependency is very, very different. It's very unhealthy and not healthy in a relationship at all. And codependency is when you are subservient to another person, where you feel the other person is more important than you, so you sacrifice your well-being for the other person. Very different energy and not healthy whatsoever. And I feel like here you've actually worked something out here, because you've healed some part of you here that has taught you about codependency. Okay, so we have the Lovers card, Five of Wands coming through with the Star. So we do have some repeat cards coming through here from the What's Cracking reading. So there was a choice here to walk away from something, and you've made the choice, even though you knew that this particular situation or this person was somehow destined to be with you. Somehow or another you have discovered something that is not right for you. You may have questioned it a lot here, whether this person was right for you or not. I feel like you've gone through a lot of backwards and forwards here in your head with this Five of Wands. But the Star card says to me that you've done some healing through this process. So this process has not been in vain. You've done a lot of healing here with the Star card. But you've definitely made some sort of choice with the Lovers here. Yeah, there's the Justice card. Oh, and the Six of Wands. How beautiful. Queen of Wands coming through. So I feel like here, no matter what happened in this situation, no matter how you look at this situation, at the end of the day, you have done everything you needed to do in healing, finding yourself, walking away, healing those parts of you that you probably learned very, very early in life, and now you're standing in as the Queen of Wands. So there is something about you now that is very attractive, very alluring. You may be feeling really confident. Your self-esteem's back intact. You've left You've left the pain of your past behind you. And in doing that, the Justice card tells me that you've completed some sort of karmic cycle here. And you have the Six of Wands. So I almost feel like you're seeing yourself for the first time. I want to say with this Queen of Wands and this Victory card, it's like you are now looking in the mirror and liking what you see, maybe even loving who you are. And it's because you've rid yourself of all this energy back here. So to me, you look like you have somebody to, I want to say, to thank for making you feel so incredibly good about yourself. But this person has been sort of tasked with that energy to get you back to where you needed to be. All right, let's have a look. Beautiful reading. So you're making some sort of changes now and you're moving away from something. Now you could be moving away from your past pain here, but I feel like you're moving away from the potential of or possibility of a relationship with someone, maybe even walking away from the relationship. I feel like you've been doing a lot of research because you're very future focused here. And look, so the Queen of Pentacles tells me that you are starting to become more conscious of what you want, of yourself. I feel like a lot of us grow up with this idea that, you know, doing things for ourselves or making decisions on behalf of ourselves is not the right thing to do. So that's why we tend to invest in other people rather than who we are. There is some sort of emotional energy coming through here. Very interesting. I feel like you either have been fighting this for a long while. You may have been like knowing that you needed to do something or knowing that something needed to be done, but you fought it. So I'm just going to work out why that's coming through that way. And I feel like it has something, yeah, okay, now I see it. Some of you have been doing this for a while because you've been waiting for someone here to make you an offer. So you may have had yourself in this sort of victim mentality or this over-analysis paralysis. But I feel like here, this person may have not come forward as yet. Now, because it's the Knight of Pentacles, the offer looks like it's still coming, but this person is really taking their time. You're not waiting anymore because you've realized now it's really important to focus on yourself here. So you've changed the dynamic here. You've changed the chemistry of this. And because of this, you're making some choice here to use your head over your heart. Does it mean you don't love that person? Absolutely not. But you're choosing here to move forward. You're choosing yourself here. And that is what you were meant to do the whole time. Beautiful reading. Beautiful, beautiful reading. All right, let's have a look and see what the Oracle has to say. I'm going to pull a little one of these as well because they have nice little messages too. Although this one is a little, a little easier to shuffle than the other one. All right, let's have a look how beautiful they are. Allow your imagination to drift beyond the horizon. Beyond time, there is a world of dreams without limits, full of magical ideas, a world just waiting for you. But this faraway world is not so far. It is inside your heart, and all it takes to get there is a dream. And this is the card of trust. So it says transformation occurs through acceptance. Once you accept the current situation, it will automatically transform. So there's the Scorpio energy right there. Transformation occurs through acceptance. Once you accept the current situation, it will automatically transform. So I guess the best way to look at that is you've let go of some sort of control here and you've completed a cycle by investing in yourself. Interesting. Beautiful card to get on that reading. Thank you.